come on people, you all know I was going to review this game sooner or later. I mean, who hasn't reviewed it yet? But anyway, yeah, Sonic Generations, the latest installment for the Sonic the Hedgehog series. And since I did a retrospective of the main series just a few months ago, it's time to review this baby. Now, I know a lot of people have reviewed this game already, and they have given high praise to the game, and my review's probably going to be the same. Well, yeah, but hey, at least you're getting to see me review the game anyway. So without further ado, let's review Sonic Generations. The story. The game's plot appropriately starts at Sonic's 20th birthday, organised by Tails and the other Sonic characters. However, a mysterious giant beast appears out of nowhere and sucks up all of Sonic's friends and knocks Sonic unconscious. Waking up, he finds himself in some white void that has no colour. After going through Green Hill Zone, he meets up with Tails and eventually Classic Sonic and Classic Tails. After figuring out what's going on, the four have to team up to restore their time and free their friends from the Time Eater. So the story isn't really something spectacular for an anniversary game, but it's not something that flaws the game so hard. It's at least an ordinary story that doesn't go all over the place, because that's what many people criticise the stories in the other Sonic games to be too complex. So in any case, the story's fine if unspectacular. Now, one thing I would like to point out is, why is it that Classic Sonic doesn't speak, but Classic Tails does? I always found that quite odd, but whatever. The gameplay. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about the gameplay. You start out in a hub world where you are given 3 areas of levels: the Genesis era, the Dreamcast era, and the Modern era. Each level is split into 2 acts. The first act is Classic Sonic's gameplay. It's pretty much just like from the Genesis games, only that the controls are different, since this isn't on a Sega Genesis console. You still jump, attack enemies by jumping, and use the spin dash. By the way, use the spin dash at your own will, because it is 10 times faster than it was in the Genesis games. You can also still collect power-ups, ring boxes and shields, which you can also buy at the skill shop at the hub world with points. The controls for Classic Sonic aren't really that hard to get used to, so it is pretty simple to pick up and play. Although I found some of Classic Sonic's gameplay levels to be a bit frustrating. I still enjoyed them for bringing back what was old into a new generation though. The second act is Modern Sonic's gameplay, where Sonic Team have yet again taken the same kind of gameplay from Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors, so there really isn't that much of a difference. You still use the homing attack, boost through the levels, and perform quick time events to earn more points. However, these levels contain more platforming and more hidden passages than the other games, which is really darn solid. You can also still collect red rings just like from Colors, and doing that will unlock more additional content. Now seriously, with the new platforming sections and the secret pathways to take, it really makes me more addicted to the modern gameplay more than the classic gameplay, and I'm pretty sure every other reviewer has said that too. But other than that, there isn't much to say about the modern gameplay since it's the same as before, and each time you clear a level, it will release one of Sonic's friends. Now there's more to Sonic Generations than just going through all of the acts of this game. After completing the 3 levels of an era, you are then sent to face a boss. However, you can't face that boss just yet until you've collected 3 boss keys. These can be obtained by completing 3 of the challenges that each level of the era offers. These challenges include you running to the goal within the time limit, racing against one of Sonic's friends, or one of Sonic's friends helping you reach the goal. Now, in all honesty, the challenges are actually quite enjoyable. You have the mission where Classic Tails helps Classic Sonic to reach the goal, and a mission where you get to use a certain ability that you can use to your advantage to reach the goal. However, there were also some missions that I really despised. First is that the racing levels with Classic Sonic are sometimes just not enjoyable at all, mainly the one with Amy Rose and Sky Sanctuary. That and the ones where you have to collect rings was also kind of torturous. Nonetheless, most of the challenges in this game add more to the replay value. In the challenge areas, you'll also encounter 3 Sonic rivals, Metal Sonic, Shadow and Silver, and you'll be fighting them in a rival boss. Now, I wasn't really blown away with Metal Sonic, but Shadow and Silver's battles were actually pretty intense. The battle with Silver is hands down my favourite. Seriously, why couldn't they have made this the boss fight in Sonic Next Gen, rather than that poorly done stupid fight? Oh well, in any case, it's still an awesome rival boss. Beating these rival bosses will earn you an extra Chaos Emeralds. Now we have the main boss fights. The first one is Death Egg Robot from Sonic 2. the only main boss with classic Sonic. It is a shame that this is the only boss from the Genesis games, and this boss isn't really that epic, but it's enjoyable nonetheless. Much better than the boss from Sonic 4. Then there's Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure. This is also a pretty cool boss, and it is cool to see Sonic actually beat this thing without using his super form. Then there's Egg Dragoon from Sonic Unleashed. This is different from before since you fight this boss as normal Sonic and not the Werehog. Now, as intense as this boss was, it was pretty painful. There are times when this boss just repeats the same pattern too many times and it just drags on way too long. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but the final boss with the Time Eater was a big disappointment for me. So the bosses are okay, just nothing too special. I won't spoil too much about the gameplay, so you'll just have to go and play the game for yourself. So overall, the gameplay for Sonic Generations is addicting, replayable, and just simply awesome. The graphics. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. The game's visuals are fantastic. Sega has always been capable of pulling off some of the best next-gen graphics, almost challenging a Pixar or DreamWorks movie. When you play as modern Sonic, each level just looks amazing when you're boosting up your speed and just blasting through the whole level. Speaking of which, let's talk about the levels in this game. The game takes some of the most memorable levels from past Sonic games and gives them an each day remake or an update. I really love the designs of Chemical Plant in the modern gameplay, because it's just a breeze to see the level burning down as you go along. Another favourite is Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes. Despite Sonic Heroes being one of my least favourite Sonic games, I really adored the remake of this level, because it's the only level in the entire game which you can run across water, and the classic gameplay of this level has similar underwater areas from the Hydro City level from Sonic 3, which is really cool. But, I know this is predictable, but my favourite level is by far Speed Highway from Sonic Adventure. This level was just phenomenal! Running across roads, buildings, hotels and traffic just made this level so damn epic. Now let's just talk about the ones that I didn't like. I know some of you might think that I'm going to say Crisis City from Sonic 06, right? Well, the classic version of this level was just plain hateful. This version of the level has so many frustrating obstacles, and just when you thought you reached the goal, it just gives you the middle finger and flies away into the distance. Arsehole! But the modern version of this level was fine enough though. My least favourite level has to be Sky Sanctuary. Out of all the levels in Sonic 3, why was this level chosen? Really, I don't know how this level made it into the game, even though it wasn't the most memorable level for me. Why didn't they choose Ice Cap Zone instead? That would have been an awesome level. Heck, there aren't any levels in this game that are snow or ice related, so that was a complete missed opportunity, damn it. But despite that, the levels and visuals of the game are all beautifully designed and pretty mind-blowing to look at. The music. Well, let's be honest, the Sonic franchise has never ceased to amaze us with its glorious soundtrack. Here, they bring back the most memorable songs from the past games and remix them to help fit the mood of the classic and modern gameplay. In the classic gameplay, the music sounds more retro and sounds like it came right out of the Genesis. Whereas the modern gameplay's music sounds more fast-paced and heavier than the classic. The best thing about the soundtrack is that you can choose a different song to play in any of the levels, a very good feature. So there really isn't much to say about the music, it pretty much explains itself. It kicks ass, it's awesome, and wild to hear when you're playing through the levels. Now, I hadn't had much problems with the game, other than a few minor stuff. As I said before, I found some of the challenges to be quite annoying and unnecessary. Some of the classics gameplay level was also a pain in the ass sometimes. God damn that devilish Crisis City level, you won't get away with this! I also stated that the bosses aren't really that special. Considering that this is an anniversary game, it's pretty underwhelming to be honest. Besides that, I also think that they should have added a bit more levels to the game from past Sonic games rather than the most memorable ones, like Ice Cap Zone of course. I would have also liked to see Tails as an extra playable character. I know he's sort of playable in some of the challenges, but he's always been a playable character a lot in past Sonic games, even in the Genesis games. Still, I can't say there were a lot of flaws in this game that held me back a little, so moving on. You know, there's always that one Sonic game where I get hyped about, and when it's released, it turns out to be even better than I expected. Sonic Generations is that game. I mean, if you thought Sonic Colors was such an awesome 3D game in the series, you haven't played this game. It has a shitload of replay value, addicting gameplay, fabulous designs and levels, and awesome music. It's a Sonic game that I just keep coming back numerous times to play, something that has never happened between me and a Sonic game before. This game isn't perfect, however, as it does have some annoying challenges and the boss fights are really disappointing, but those can be overlooked easily for what this game offers. I give it a deserving score of chilly heatwave Doritos, meaning awesome game worth playing. Thank you for watching my review of Sonic Generations, and this is Zookstar1000 saying see you all in the next video.